I'm going to introduce you to my friend. My friend is feeling really angry because he just did a really hard math test. So to make himself feel better, he decides to go home, but then he gets stuck in so much traffic. Now he's feeling even more angry. So he's so angry and he feels like he needs to let all of his built-up anger out. If only there was a way he could do this. Turns out there is, and he can get out all of his anger by going to something called a rage room. In a rage room, people have the opportunity to release all of their anger by smashing, breaking, and hitting things, and ultimately, by the end, they feel better. So, by the end, you're feeling really good because you've let all of your anger out. This seems like a great idea in theory, but is it really? Turns out the psychology behind rage rooms is actually quite enraging. So, rage rooms have initially become popular because of the concept of Freudian sublimation. Freud suggested that in order to release our impulses, which are typically socially unacceptable, sublimation allows us to release them in a socially acceptable way. So instead of releasing our anger onto our friend by hitting and punching them, which is not socially acceptable, we can instead go to the gym and punch a punching bag to get out all of our anger. So because of Freudian sublimation, we come to view rage rooms as being a really socially acceptable way to release your anger. So instead of hitting your friend over here, you're going to a rage room and you're punching, hitting, smashing things instead of an actual person. So people view rage rooms as a really healthy way to release your anger. Freud would definitely agree with this, but one thing I would say is that Freud would be failing to consider that within sublimation, we're actually reinforcing aggressive behaviors. And this is happening because of the principles of instrumental conditioning. Instrumental conditioning suggests that a behavior such as throwing a coffee mug onto the floor can increase or decrease in frequency as we present or remove some type of reinforcer, even a phone. Rage rooms employ this same concept and use instrumental conditioning. In fact, they use a specific type called escape training. So when we're going into a rage room, we're initially feeling really angry. Anger is a really unpleasant feeling we want to get rid of. So we can essentially use our anger and then get rid of it by going to the rage room and smashing, breaking, and hitting things. So by the end of it, we're feeling really good. Because we're feeling good, we're going to be a lot more likely to keep engaging in the behavior of going to rage rooms in the future. So this is because you learn that next time you're feeling angry, to deal with your anger, you can just go to a rage room and get it all out, allowing you to feel better. However, the relief you feel by going to a rage room is only temporary, and it's really only a short-term solution to dealing with your anger. And the problem here is that you'll ultimately end up getting stuck in a persistent, endless cycle of aggressive behaviors. This isn't good because constantly being angry can lead to harm to your mental health, well-being, and functioning. In fact, when you are constantly engaging in aggressive behavior, this can interfere with your ability to do things like go to school and do your job. As well, if you're acting aggressively to other people all the time, we're going to see how you might have interference with your social relationships and you might have a problem forming new ones. As well, if you're constantly engaging in aggressive behaviors, you're probably going to be a lot more likely to feel angry all the time. And feeling angry is not good for your mental health and well-being. And in fact, it can even increase the likelihood of you developing some mental health disorders. So if rage rooms are such a bad idea for dealing with anger, what can we do instead? Turns out there's so many better alternatives. A really simple thing you can do is engage in relaxation. When we're relaxed, we can essentially take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This reduces the activity in your nervous system, allowing you to feel calmer. And now that you feel calm, you're not feeling angry. Now that we're also feeling calm, we can also think about why we're feeling angry in the first place. If we can address the source of our anger and think about what's making us feel angry, we can eliminate those feelings of anger as well as those aggressive behaviors that can be associated with it. So, next time you're feeling really angry, instead of doing something like going to a rage room to deal with your anger, consider taking a deep breath in, relaxation, and thinking about why you might be angry in the first place. And these are techniques that are not psychologically enraging. Thank you.